Hey, it's Leanne here, and I have a very special video for you today. The stuff that I'm going to be talking about on here, up until now, I haven't really shared it in the mainstream eye, if you will. So the people that know me personally will somewhat know the story I'm about to share with you, and my coaching clients obviously know what I'm about to share with you because it relates to their experiences. But it's easy for people to understand where, in terms of all my programs, my coaching, Ditch the Bitch, all that stuff, where it came from me upgrading my own confidence and self-image after I lost a lot of weight, right? But what most people don't understand is that what I realized along the way is that I had a different type of body image of myself, and that completely impacted my self-image, and it didn't enable me to show up as not show up as the best version. It made me show up as the version of myself I didn't love, I didn't believe in. And this is the part of the story that enables me to understand the body the way I do, but also really feel mission driven and purposeful to help women upgrade their self-images and their body images, because they're one and the same. And so the easiest way for me to explain this was just to draw it. So like I said, I started the first look at the mindset side of things was when I realized, okay, I didn't love my body for many years, and the way I saw myself was a reflection of that. After I lost the weight, I didn't feel confident, I didn't feel sexy, I didn't feel all those things, right? But here's the other thing that happened. I had surgery when I was 25. I had a major spine injury and had to have surgery. And after my surgery, like literally the next day, it was a very obvious, it started after my surgery, my body felt completely different. And I'm going to show you what I mean by that, and then I'm going to explain to you what that has to do with you. Okay, so here is my lovely drawing, and by the way, I am just wanted all over the world for my art. I am really great at drawing symmetry and showing how body parts should look the same from right to left, so please excuse my lovely drawing. I'll never claim to be the most amazing artist, but I have fun drawing it. So anyways, and I have some notes just to make sure I share the full story, but here's what happened, okay? After my surgery, my body started feeling weird. The ground felt different. The way I walked felt different. Everything, just my body felt different, right? So before my surgery, the only thing that was ever impacted or that I could notice about my body being different was I had on my left ankle, it was, this is a whole other story in itself. It's called venous insufficiency, but my whole family refers to it as penis insufficiency, and that's another story for another video. But what happened was my left ankle was really swollen, and this started when I was in 10th grade, okay? And it ended up being what was told to me venous insufficiency, which at the end of the day wasn't a big deal, but it wasn't attractive. It didn't feel good. I had to alter the way I wore shoes and which shoes I wore and all that stuff, and it was a bit of a self-conscious or self-image thing, but it didn't, at the time, it didn't like make or break my self-image of my body, right? And then I broke my middle finger one time, a basketball, bent it backwards. So before my surgery, nothing, okay? Then the day after my surgery, okay, you'll see the patterns, okay? From this area, from my left pinky toe, okay, all the way up this side, okay, now from my drawing, this is actually the outside of my leg, so imagine my foot going that way. I'm such an awesome artist. Maybe it should be like this, I guess. So forgive me. So this is my pinky toe and like the outside of my leg. Imagine my foot actually coming out like that, okay? So all the way up here, okay, and then all the way, it really came like up my spine and then to my neck, okay? Then also, okay, from my pinky toe to my pinky finger, I guess that's my pinky finger, well, you catch the drift, it would be like that, right? So pinky toe to pinky finger, okay? They all felt what at first I just called weird, but they weren't firing all the way, okay? And imagine a light going out, but before it goes out, it flickers, so it wasn't dead. Like, it wasn't like I had no nerve innervation or anything like that, but it just didn't feel like I had full control of it. It felt weird, okay? It felt weak. It felt kind of dumb, all right? So moving along, right, on top of that, I noticed that this entire line, okay, including my glutes and that whole area right here, okay, There was a bunch of fascia that was there, that was just fascially bound fat, and underneath that, the flickering sensation was there, where it didn't feel like it wasn't turning on, but it didn't feel like it was working properly, right? So I also had fascia, okay? I'm going to start drawing some fascia for you now, okay? Also, in these areas, which will be like back fat areas, okay? These areas weren't turning on and flickering, and they also had fascially bound fat, okay? Then, like love handles area, okay, I had a very noticeable storage, if you will, of fascially bound fat, and my body wasn't working, didn't feel like it was working right, okay? And then also, so remember, there's this line from my pinky, you know, that met this area here, right? And then it also went up my neck, that weird, the blue went up my neck, right? And so if you were to flip me around to the other side, the area of my chest, like kind of like right above my nipple and up, was also very like fascially bound and tight, okay? So that whole thing was going on. My body felt different. Then, okay, the next awareness was that, let's just pretend like these are my lungs, okay? And I'm breathing. That's where I'm breathing, right? I could feel that only the right side of my lungs, if you will, were really doing the work. Were activating. Like I could feel that I wasn't breathing fully on the left side of my body. So this side of my lungs, right? They weren't really doing their job, right? And so in turn, I could feel that like the oxygen wasn't going to this side of my body. Like it wasn't innervating. And I could, like, even just breathing in and then breathing out, if I could just close my eyes and feel the oxygen where it was going, it was going to the right side and my left side in a different way, or it felt different, okay? Then on top of that, okay, later down the road, maybe a year later, I ended up having like really bad big toe pain, like couldn't put my weight on it, right? And then in addition to that, it made the other side of my foot, I could tell it wasn't firing either, so which it would explain my toe pain, right? So I could go on and like tell you weird things about my body and where I felt like there were imbalances and all this stuff, right? But actually there was one thing I left out, okay? Also, going back to my neck, right, I had also a little bit of fired up neck pain, just every once in a while, right? Well, as soon as I learned about visual drills and how your visual system really affects all this stuff, I also realized that this makes the eye blue since I have blue eyes, right? This eye, okay, my left eye, was also, it was like not intelligent. It was like every time I did visual drills on that side, it was hard, I would fatigue very well, and it made me realize that my vision was impaired on my left side as well. Okay? So there's a lot of things going on in my body, right? Physically, all right? But here's where it impacted my body image and my self-image, okay? A couple of things. First of all, I was hyper aware of my body after my surgery. I felt like I had this sixth sense where that like kinesthetic awareness that I never had because I probably just never needed it. I immediately had crazy body awareness, like hyper body awareness, and to the point where I would share with somebody how I was feeling or what I could feel, and they didn't get it, because it's kind of like if you've ever burned your tongue, like you know what that burnt tongue pain feels like, versus if you scrape your knee, you know what a scraped knee feels like. Well, they're completely different pains, and if you've never experienced a burnt tongue, you wouldn't know what a burnt tongue feels like, right? Versus if you've never experienced a skinned knee, you'd not know what a skinned knee felt like. So I had this feeling that unless I was speaking with somebody else who also knew that feeling, they didn't get it, okay? So here I am. I felt crazy in a way, okay? I felt like a weirdo, a leper, and the big story that I had about my body, no longer was I saying, well, I was still calling myself fat and all that stuff because I never went and cleaned up that side of things, but I was saying my body's broken, I can't trust in my body or rely on it, and I was head deep or knee deep in the fitness industry while this was all going on. I was on TV every single weekend. I was winning awards and had an amazing program and really interacting with a lot of women every single week, and I felt like, who the hell am I to teach these women how to move better and all this stuff when my body's broken, right? And it gave me a completely new struggle with my body image, which then turned into, you can understand, it all manifests into a poor self-image. You can't imagine me walking around in this body confidently and with a swagger. I was just kind of moving, and getting from place to place. And you can probably imagine I wasn't holding my head high and feeling all confident and amazing and sexy and powerful when I felt like my body was broken. I felt like I had a disability in a way, if that's the right way to put it. I felt weird. I felt different. And the truth is I was different. My body was different. But unbeknownst to me, my surgery was about 6 or 7 years ago now at this point. From day one, when day one of my surgery, until within the past year, I have been ingraining this new broken body image and self-image on top of the "you're fat, that outfit looks like crap," the mirror bitches, all those, right? And so what is my point, basically? There's a couple points. The first thing is, everything is connected. When it comes to your body, everything's connected. When it comes to your life, everything's connected. My body was connected to how I show up in my personal life, in my relationships, in my work life, in my, fun and joy life, in my professional life, and in the impact I want to make on this world life. It shows up. It's all connected. I mean, my body is me, and I am my body. And I had this major disconnect with my body, and it was almost to the point where I was mad at it. Actually, it was to the point where I was mad at it. I was mad, and speaking of mad, I came to find that I was really mad at my fat for a while, until I wasn't also, so that I was mad at that. But on top of that, I was mad at my broken body. I was mad at the world, but it all came back to, I was mad at myself, or so I thought. I was taking it out on myself. And that was where the whole body image and self-image thing kind of came together. Now, here's the thing. I understand that not all women experience major trauma or an accident or an injury or anything like that. But our body image, we don't realize that we actually own it, and we take it personally. We take our bodies personally. And there's nothing wrong with taking it personal. My body, it is personal. It's my body. I'm a snowflake. I'm the only one who has this body, right? But when I say take it personally, I mean take it personally as in get mad at yourself if it's not doing what you want it to do, as opposed to just own it. It's the difference between me saying what I say now, which is, you know what, my body is unique, it is different. I do feel things more than other people feel it. I do have a higher body awareness or kinesthetic awareness, right? But that doesn't make me weird. It doesn't make me wrong, different, or bad, different. It just makes me different. And there's nothing to be mad at. There's no one to be mad at. There's no one to fight. There's no one to resist. It's because I was really just fighting myself. I was the one who said these things about my body. I was the one who said that when you look at it, my body had an injury, essentially, or it felt, after I wasn't even injured anymore, it just felt weird, right? I was saying things like, my body is broken, my body sucks, or, I was mad at it, I was not being very kind to it, right? So you can see how it impacted my self-image. So the reason I just wanted to share this with you is because it's a very exaggerated example of why body image is so important to your confidence, your self-esteem, and all that. Even if you don't struggle with your weight, or even if you don't struggle with fitting into your clothes in your closet, or you're not in that body struggle, if you don't have the body image that you want to have, that you want to show up as, if you're looking to improve your confidence, your self-esteem, feeling more powerful, feeling more just impactful, whatever it is, I urge you and I dare you to take a look at what you're saying about your body. Even if you're not focusing on how much weight you want to lose or anything like that, even if you actually are pleased with your current body, take a look at what you're saying about it. Take a look at, if it's creating freedom in your life, or if it's contributing to your life, or if it's holding you back or tying you down. Because I'll tell you, my body, until I looked at it, I didn't even know. It was this very sly thought process that was kind of on the hamster wheel in the back of my mind that I didn't even know it was there. It was slick and sneaky, and until I actually said, wait a minute, here's what happened to my body, and here's what I said about it, and here's what I'm still saying about it, only then was I able to be like, wow, I made up some crazy fairy tales about my body and some non-truths about my body because my perception and my stories were just completely out of whack. And those stories and perceptions were based on my body image and my self-image. So I'll wrap it up here, but that was actually really, this is a powerful moment for me right now, because up until now, you can understand based on what I shared with you about it, I haven't been sharing the story because I thought my body was broken, I thought it was weird, I thought I was crazy, all these things, right? But now this is it, and the cool thing is that a lot of this stuff that I shared with you, it's a different world. My body's different too, because I've gone and learned about the body and the brain and the visual system and the vestibular system and the nervous system and all that, and not in a professional way, for me, for my own journey, and I've been able to really just upgrade how my body moves and feels and all that jazz, but the personal side of it, how I felt about my body and how I felt in my body, this is a really, this video is a big deal because I'm actually sharing it right now. So I hope you got something out of it, even if it's just a new awareness, or even if you just realize how crazy I really am. I am so happy that I shared this with you, and I hope you are too. So I'll see you soon.